This meeting will come to order. Ladies and gentlemen, this meeting will come to order. Please have a seat. Thank you. I need this meeting to come to order, please. Thank you very much.
A regular meeting of the Delta County Commissioners is being held this date pursuant to the following call. In a letter to the Commissioners dated April 13th, 2023, and reading as follows. The Honorable Members of the Delta County Board of Commissioners. Dear Commissioners, a regular meeting of the Delta County Board of Commissioners is scheduled for Tuesday, April 18th, 2023 at 5:15 p.m. in the boardroom of the Delta County Service Center and via YouTube. Sincerely yours, Nancy Prozraki, Delta County Clerk. Please rise for a word of prayer. Lord, as we begin this meeting, we thank you for our many blessings. We ask for your guidance to help our commissioners make decisions in the best interest of the citizens they serve. And Lord, we pray for the safety of our military men and women. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Commissioner Melner?
Here.
Commissioner View?
Here.
Commissioner Barron?
Here.
Commissioner Moyle?
Here.
And Commissioner Peterson.
Here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for attending tonight's County Commission meeting. Under special orders of business, I want to just advise you of one thing. If any of you are here tonight regarding the annexation issue, we won't be discussing that tonight. The first time that'll hit the docket is May the 16th. So I'm just advising you of that. It's not on the agenda. The commission will take no action on that tonight or the first meeting in May. It will be on May 16th. So thank you for your cooperation with that. Approval of minutes of the previous meetings of 4/11/23.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Barron.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Peterson to accept the minutes. Additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That carries. Thank you very much. Approval of tonight's agenda. We have some things that need to be added, but I would like the commission to go ahead before I do.
Make a motion of approval.
Uncle, you gotta, then I have to.
Oh, excuse me. I'll take that back.
It's all right. Does anybody want to add anything? I want to do under new business, item number 10, a discussion with Ricky Graham in reference to a countywide Boys and Girls Club. Mr. Graham is here tonight, and this would be a very brief discussion with him. He's been in contact with the NFL, and he wants to discuss a few things with the board. Additionally, okay, Boys and Girls, so if you could put item 10 under new business as Boys and Girls Club discussion. All right, then item 11 is going into closed session on two opinions from our counsel or prosecuting attorney. Any other additions to the agenda? Then I would need a motion to accept the agenda as amended.
So moved.
I have a motion by Commissioner Barron. Support by Commissioner Peterson. Additional discussion, please. All those in favor of accepting the agenda as amended signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Very well. Okay, we have presentation of written communications, communications received, communications forwarded. Is there any?
No.
Very good. Nothing to put on file then. Reports of standing committees, statutory and special committees, as well as others.
No.
Very good. Then we have, if I can, there it is. Public comment on agenda items. Christine Williams, please. Good evening and thank you.
Christine Williams, Ford River Township. Over a 12-year period of time, from 2011 to 2022, the county had 5 contracts with the Conservation District to manage the county parks, soil and erosion permitting, and the county forest. Those contracts contain much of the same language. And in those contracts, one of the stated requirements was that the Conservation District would, quote, provide additional director/staff support and Conservation District equipment for parks operation in exchange for Conservation District office space, end quote. In essence, the county provides the Conservation District with a physical office, and in exchange for that, the Conservation District provides the park's administrative support. This would have been a fair and equitable exchange. However, the Conservation District did charge an administrative fee during this period of time. Starting in 2011, that fee was $3,500. Then it went to $5,000, then $10,000, then $20,000, then $30,000, then $40,000, then $55,000, then $75,000, then $55,000, then $53,000, then $60,000. And last year in 2022, it was $72,114.09. So the Conservation District took $478,614.09 for administration on top of the annual $75,000 county appropriation, which over the contract period is $900,000. Combining these two amounts, that comes to $1,378,614.09, and the Conservation District did not pay for the use of office space during that time. To provide a reasonable monetary value for the office, I looked at other office space in our local area and believe conservatively that space has a value of around $2,500 monthly. That amounts to $30,000 annually or $360,000 over the period of time under contract. Additionally, the county parks are closed in the winter, but the Conservation District office stays open, so utilities for that office are necessary all year round. As with any real estate, there is real monetary value to this physical space and its utilities. Clearly, the Conservation District had a sweetheart deal, but apparently it wasn't enough because in the contract that was negotiated during 2022 for the upcoming fiscal years 2023 to 2033, the county appropriation was increased from $75,000 to $100,000 annually. So my concern is that as this board takes back their parks and works to create annual budgets and employment positions, they are aware of these inflated costs. It is imperative you know the real costs of running the county parks, and you should be asking the question, what was that administration fee used for, and was it actually an administration fee or something else? Lastly, I have serious concerns regarding contracts between the county and the Conservation District. As can be seen by this example, the Conservation District was not held accountable to the contracts covering 2011 to 2022, allowing the Conservation District to charge the taxpayers an additionally nearly $500,000. Then again, the Conservation District was not held accountable to a newly adopted contract that was signed in October of 2022 and subsequently broken in January of 2023, even after the public asked to have the breaking of that contract legally reviewed. Now this board is going to again be presented with a contract from the Conservation District with apparently no legal review from the county. If this board accepts another contract from the Conservation District with no legal review, I will question your motives. And anyone in this county should question your motives. You've been asked before, and I will ask it again. Why are you protecting the Conservation District and putting their interests above that of the county and its citizens?
Thank you. Mr. Kaplan. Joel Kaplan, please.
David, I don't need to, thank you.
Okay, sir. Just making sure you got the opportunity. Christine Peppin. You're welcome.
Good evening. Excuse me, Christine Pepin, City of Escanaba. I too have fiscal questions. I was at the board meeting when the money was approved for the controller having taken over the administrator's position. And initially, it didn't really hit me until I left the meeting and I went, wait a minute. They said $384 in addition to the wage she was already being provided. I don't dispute that she deserves compensation for doing the work, the administrator's work while the administrator is off. But please explain to us how almost doubling what the administrator's salary, the administrator herself, what that salary was, you're almost doubling that. When I was still working for the county, if we filled in for a position, we received the pay of that position after a certain period of time. That position, not in addition to our own position. We still had to do all the work, just like unfortunately Ashley has to, but we didn't get that money on top of our already salary that we were receiving. We received the salary of the position we were filling, period. End. So how paying nearly double the administrator's salary is fiscally responsible, especially after what I'm just hearing about the parks as well. We really got to look at the money here, people, and make sure that it's being spent in a sound manner. I'm interested to hear what this meeting is going to present. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Last call for public comment on agenda items. Good evening, sir. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Gary Gustafson, and I'd like to say what's going on here tonight is appalling. This board has already been guilty of Open Meetings Act violations in the past, and accessibility is one of them, and look around. I think we need to adjourn this meeting immediately, or at the very least, go get some chairs for everybody to sit down. This is ridiculous. Would you like to stand for 4 hours? No, this is this is not right. Anyway, sorry about that. I want some chairs out here now, and I will be filing a complaint with the Michigan State Police for an Open Meetings Act violation on this, the way it stands. And in my opinion, this is the second one of the evening. You're not doing very good, and you also have a First Amendment and First Amendment violation. I'm having a brain fart. Anyway, secular prayer in county board meetings in the state of Michigan is not legal anymore. It was found. Thank you. It's not fair for the board to push one secular religion on everybody in this county, and there are regulations that need to be followed, guidelines. This is a First Amendment violation, and it's also an accessibility violation, which means it is an Open Meetings Act violation as well. Good luck, and have a good night.
Anybody else for general public comment, please? I'm sorry, comment on agenda items. Welcome, sir.
Agenda items?
Yes, sir. Sorry about that. You get a chance at the end of the evening for general public comment. This is a comment on agenda items, please. Agenda items. I need it quiet in the audience, please. Please be respectful. Welcome.
Good evening. Mr. View, once again, we
I
get,
need it quiet in the audience, please, like it was for the other people.
I'll be happy to start over again if you would.
Please be quiet in the audience. I understand you get emotional. I'm going to ask you a couple more times. The audience is mic'd. The people at home are hearing you. Please be quiet. You'll get your chance to speak. Please begin.
Mr. View, once again, we get to discuss your character.
Who are you?
Go ahead and identify yourself, please.
Reed Hyken, we can start again. My time's running. Thank you.
You need to be quiet, please, in the audience, not make it worse. Please, just continue, sir.
Thank you. Mr. View, once again, we get to talk about your character. Mr. View, as a commissioner on this board, it is part of your job to have done the research to understand the Open Meetings Act. One of the preferences of the Open Meetings Act is the number of commissioners that are present at any meeting that is not open. By becoming a third commissioner at the Finance Committee meeting, both the last one and this one, you violated the Open Meetings Act. As I understand it, you were informed by the county attorney that in reality that you were violating the Open Meetings Act, but so long as you remained quiet, nothing more would be done with it. At this last meeting, Mr. View, you decided that it was important for you to speak, which opens all of us, the community, up
If I
for charges.
may, is this an agenda item?
Yes,
Is it? Okay,
Finance
I was just
Committee.
looking through, I didn't see. Okay, go ahead, I'm
Finance
sorry.
Committee.
I apologize.
That's okay. Violated the Open Meetings Act. So if you don't like the rules of this county and of this board, then perhaps, Mr. View, you need to be held accountable. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else, please, for comment on agenda item? Okay, Joel. Welcome.
Thank you. Joe Kaplan, Ford River Township. I was at that Finance Committee meeting, and as soon as Rory Mattson made it known that Steve should not be participating in that meeting or talking, he was talking as a citizen, he immediately stopped, and he did not say another word the rest of the meeting, and Commissioner Barron and Commissioner Peterson can attest to that. I'm pretty well versed in Open Meetings Act. I wouldn't have considered that an Open Meeting Act violation. There was nothing that Mr. View was putting forward that was suggesting an outcome or a vote. And that's all I'd like to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kaplan. Okay, sir.
Good evening, Jake Nyquist. I found a loophole of what I wanted to say.
Okay,
The
sir.
agenda item 2, call to prayer, I would like to address that. I was the chairman of a board, of a public board in 2014, and I opened my meeting with a prayer, and the clerk mentioned to me that some people were complaining about the prayer. Well, there was a 2014 Michigan case, it made it all the way to the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, and the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in 2014 that public boards can open their meetings in a prayer because it's a tradition. So that was a 2014 U.S. Supreme Court ruling. And I would have kept opening my meeting in prayer anyway, but just wanted to inform the board of that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nyquist. Okay, anybody else, please, on, welcome.
Kelly Vangenhoven, City of Escanaba. I was also at the last Finance Committee meeting with Mr. View and Commissioner Barron and Commissioner Peterson, and I would just like to second what Mr. Kaplan said. If the closed session has anything to do with that, I would like to be called into that closed session with Mr. Kaplan so that, because we were witnesses to that. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, very good. Is there any additional comments on agenda items before we move on? Going once? Going twice? Okay, that's gone. Thank you very much. We need committee reports, please. Any committees wish to report? Any department heads wish to report?
I have my administrator's report.
Very good. Go ahead, please.
Our director of maintenance updated me on the current and upcoming activities for his department. On Monday or Tuesday, DT will begin installing the new gas service to the courthouse. DeGrand will begin their site work for the service center multi-use garage this week. Cleary will begin building the service center multi-use garage approximately next week. Bell Roofing will begin replacing the courthouse roof at the end of the month. The relocation of utilities have begun, or have completed their floor cutting for plumbing, and the demolition work will begin next week. The department also applied for a 2% grant from Hannahville for the heating and plumbing to be added to the service center multi-use garage. The director is currently working with our VSO, Dave Xavier, on estimating prices for the Veterans Affairs grant projects that could be upcoming. And the director also is working on price estimates for the courthouse security upgrades. He wants to note that the county may need to hire architectural drawings and specifications for the RFP that could be produced with this project. The department is also starting, as you've probably noticed, walking in, painting the hallways here at the service center. I had a discussion too with our emergency management coordinator, and he is providing an update on flooding issues within Delta County. He has physically reviewed the problem areas, which have improved since last week. We are definitely in a better position than most Upper Peninsula counties. Some have local declarations that are currently in place, and several roads are being washed out. All of Delta County's issues are being documented in the MI SIMS, but we have not reached to the point of needing a local declaration. Jody from the Road Commission is updating our emergency management coordinator of any significant changes or damages that may occur. UPCO is also supplying Paul with an update on Dam 1 in the flow of the Escanaba River, but as of now, there are no concerns as to their facilities unable to handle the high flow. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion to place that on order.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Barron, supported by Commissioner Melner. Additional discussion? All in favor,
Well, I have a comment. I couldn't find that in our packet, your report. Is that something that that isn't in the packet, or?
It's in the packet.
Because I have something different in my, I have like the last April 4th, 2023. Does somebody else have?
I just brought it up on Commissioner Peterson's too. Are you connected to their Wi-Fi service?
That might be a Brandon issue, sir.
I just wanted to follow along.
Very duly noted, unless you want any additional discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? All right, that passes. Very good. Additional department heads, comment? Oh. Personnel Committee, we had this, I apologize. Okay, so we have Personnel Committee minutes of 4/12/23. John?
We did go over the, for the management position, for the parks, and what was it, 2 or 3 other positions that we're looking at? We did agree with the, job description that Rory provided. We all went over it, it all looked legit, and, couldn't find any faults in it, so we're gonna go with that.
Thank you for your service. I would need a motion to place that on order, or file, please, excuse me.
I'll give a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Peterson,
Support.
supported by Commissioner Barron. Additional discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Buildings and ground minutes of, you guys were busy, 4/12/23.
We did meet the person that was on, for the greenhouse. She did not show up. We got I got an email from Ashley a couple of days ago saying that the greenhouse is no longer gonna be put there, so things dropped.
Okay, very good. Anything else?
That would be it.
Okay, very good, Mr. Chairman. Then I need a motion to place that on file.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Barron.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Peterson. Additional discussion. Those in favor of putting this on file signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? That would pass. Finance Committee meeting minutes of 4/13/23.
I would move that they be placed on file.
A motion by Commissioner Barron,
I'll support that.
supported by Commissioner Peterson, that these minutes be placed on file. Additional discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That would pass. Now, I apologize for the updates on department heads, everything from airport through parks to Veterans Affairs. Any department heads wish to discuss the board? All right. Last call on that? Very good. General orders of business, unfinished business, Parks Manager job description development. Mr. Mattson, you want to come up in case anybody has questions with that?
Presented to you by the Personnel Committee was the job description that was created by the committee, the Conservation District, and administration. I'm just looking for approval of the job description.
Does anybody have questions, last-minute questions for Roy? I might have had you get up for nothing. I apologize.
That's all right.
Mr. View, the wheels look like they're rolling.
Wish they were. What was presented at the development of that job description was so thorough that I think the community would be proud of the type of person we're trying to put in that position.
Turn the volume up a tad.
Oh, can you hear me now?
All right, I guess we're okay.
I just had to get closer. The description that was approved by the Personnel Committee that I was on and Mr. Melner chairs, I think the people in the community will be proud of the person and the qualifications required to oversee our parks. It is very thorough to the extent that it's like, I think it's 3 or 4 pages long, and it entails just about anything possible that you could think to keep our parks in top-notch condition. So it's really good, and I don't know if you have agenda packet or not, or if it was in there, because I've seen it in my packet here. I would move that we approve that job description.
I have a motion by Commissioner View.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Barron. Additional discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, Roy. That would pass. We are approving said language. Airport Advisory Board resolution regarding manager compensation.
After many meetings with the Finance Committee, the Finance Board recommends to retroactively compensate airport manager a stipend of $180 a week until June 1st.
Okay, let me start off with this. I have no problem with that, and I will vote for it, but, and since it's retroactive, I need to advise the commission and the community. There's currently a complaint being investigated by a law firm. It would be my intention to support this, but it needs to be done after that investigation is complete. Or we could be putting the county in line for something litigious. So what's your pleasure, gentlemen? Like I said, I have no problem authorizing this stipend for Andrea after this investigation is complete.
What is the investigation for?
I can't go public. It's an investigation on a complaint, and that would take myself and Commissioner Barron out of the ability to participate in it. So it's entirely up to what this board wants to do.
I don't have the right to know what it is, just 2 people on the
Well, the 2
commission?
people mentioned were involved in the complaint. There is an ongoing investigation. I cannot say any more than that. I do give you my support this once this investigation is complete, because I think the job needs to be funded at a higher level. But that's up to you guys.
Well,
It should be complete this week.
So we don't want a motion to accept what the Finance Committee?
You
did?
can do that if you want. I mean, I'm just letting you know where I'm at with it. I can't really participate in this, and I won't, because I'm not going to endanger the entity that I was elected to represent. So just advising you. What is your pleasure, gentlemen? If somebody want to make a motion, make a second, that's absolutely fine, but I'm not going to get in the way of this.
I guess I'd like to know, after this is settled, at our next board meeting, it should be settled, we make a motion then to accept it.
I'd support you.
I will make
Because
the
I
motion.
really don't want to make a decision until I know what everything's going on.
Agreed.
I would motion that we table this till next.
Until May the 2nd?
Yes.
We have a motion by Commissioner Peterson to table this till May 2nd.
I'll support that.
Supported by Commissioner Barron. Additional discussion.
Is this why we need attorneys? I'm just asking because.
Well, I mean, it's-
I have no idea what we're talking about.
I really can't give you
All right.
any more information other than the fact that there is an investigation. It should be complete immediately, and it was intention to authorize this at the next meeting. So why not authorize it now? Because there's an investigation going. I mean, it's a catch-22. We go on all night. But I am attempting to try to let you know I support this issue. So I have a motion, I have support. All those in favor of tabling this signify by saying aye. Aye. That would pass. We will revisit this issue on May the 2nd. Since it's a retroactive decision, that won't cause any issues whatsoever financially. Delta County Parks Employee Wage and Benefits.
During the Finance Committee meeting, it was recommended for an annual salary of $40,000 for the parks manager, along with an increase of $5,000 on January 1st, 2024, and $5,000 on their anniversary date.
Any additional discussion, gentlemen?
I'd like to make the motion to accept that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Barron to accept the language,
I would support that.
supported by Commissioner Peterson. Additional discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That would carry. Thank you very much. New business, the payment of our bills.
I have examined all claims presented and recommend payment of the following, and that the county clerk be directed to issue orders on the county treasurer to the claimants for the amounts allowed. $1,354,700.30.
Commission, I would need a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Barron.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Melner to pay our bills. All those, oh, you need a roll call, forgive me.
Melner.
Yes.
View.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
And Moyle.
Yes. That will pass. That is a lot of money. 2023 equalization report. Good evening, and thank you for your service.
Gentlemen, I am here to report with the 2023 assessed valuations. We have just completed our equalization process, and we have found that we've increased our assessed values by $123,280,932, which is an overall increase of 7% for 2023. I'm asking that the board approve this, the 4024, allowing Commissioner Moyle to sign so that I can get it filed with the state timely.
Do you have any questions before somebody makes the motion?
If I can just make one, is there a limit on how high the assessed value can be raised each time?
No, the only limit is on your taxable value, not the assessed value.
I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Commissioner Melnar to accept.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Peterson. Additional discussion. All those signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Again, ma'am, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Okay, item number 3 is going to have to be tabled because the Planning Commission has not gotten back to us with a recording secretary. They're going to do that on May 1. So I would need a motion to table that.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner View.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Barron. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That will pass. Airport grant contract and authorization for airport awareness.
This grant is a routine grant that we receive every year. It is for the marketing of our airport. There is a 10% match that is required, and I'm just seeking approval for the grant application.
How much would the match be, please?
$667,
Okay.
and they give us $6,000.
Commission?
I would move that we support filing for the grant.
Moved by Commissioner Peterson to accept the grant. File for it.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Barron. Additional discussion.
Yeah,
Yes, Commissioner View?
in my packet, it shows a former commissioner getting this information. Is there a reason for that?
It just must not have been updated with that grant. Since it's an annual grant, they probably just used last year's. Since last year, they, it's an annual grant, so they probably just used the past commissioner at that time, and which has been corrected.
Oh, it's corrected now? Okay.
Additional discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That would carry. District Court Client Services Support Clerk Job Description.
The Personnel Committee has put together a recommendation for the job description, which was created by the District Court Administrator with influence by Judge Parks and the union.
We'd need a motion to,
So moved.
moved by Commissioner View.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Melnor. Additional discussion, please. All in favor signify by
Wait,
saying,
I would just like the public to know that I was on this decision to bring this forward. And what it does is, there's an employee or employees in the county as, what is it? client service clerks that are getting a lot of comp time, which means paid time off, because they're working long hours, and they're building up 200-300 hours of overtime. And this would be a floater position, if I'm not mistaken, where this temporary, not a temporary, but a part-time person would fill in and go as needed throughout the county with a certain salary without benefits. So we're trying to budget basically the fuel use of our funds, yet to do the needed work that the court system needs.
All right, sir, thank you very much. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, very good. District Court Client Services Support Clerk, post and fill.
District Court and Administration is requesting that we are able to post and fill with approval of the board for this position.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner View.
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Peterson to post and fill this position. Additional discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That opposed? Very good. That passes. Parks Personnel Development.
The Personnel Committee recommends the personnel organization or structure of the park to contain a parks manager, a maintenance individual, and 4 seasonal employees.
Mr. Mellor, you're the Chair of the Personnel Department. Any comment?
No comment. Just, we went over everything, everything looked good, and I'll make a motion to accept this.
Moved by Commissioner
I'll
Mellor.
support.
Supported by Commissioner View. Additional discussion?
While talking about it, it looks like the majority of the expense of this should be covered by the fees and rentals of the park. The biggest thing that we weren't given is the ability to see what it has on the actual budget outside of the park. And I didn't know if this includes just a line item, its own line item, that anything taken in by the parks will be held for the parks.
That's on the next agenda item.
Oh, okay, so I'm jumping
Jumping
ahead of
ahead.
myself. Okay, well, I'm
You
sorry.
okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, on to Mr. View's next item, which would be the Parks Development County Fund Setup.
The
Sir.
finance, oops, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
The Finance Committee recommends reactivating the Special Revenue Fund of 208 for the parks activity. And this will be where all revenues, expenditures will be recorded. It will not be combined with the general fund by any means. And then we were looking ahead in the Finance Committee about the $75,000 that's currently being appropriated for the run of the parks and trying to adjust, bring that in and have it as an appropriation to this fund.
So Finance has looked
But
into this.
it's just been
fund.
talks, it hasn't been approved or anything.
Does this fund request or activation need to go to Finance, or is it okay? at this point?
We already, the finance already approved the Special Revenue Fund 208 to be reenacted, so we're looking for the full board's approval of that.
Very good, then I would need a motion to reenact 208.
I'll make that motion.
Moved by Commissioner Peterson, supported by Commissioner Barron. Additional discussion. All those in favor, oh, John?
Well, at our Personnel Committee, we all, between me and Commissioner View and Ashley, we all said that this can always be looked at another year after we actually take over and see what needs to be changed also.
Very well.
Right.
And then I would like to make the comment, did we mention anything about the Building and Grounds Department doing some major maintenance on the parks? Or is that gonna be hired out? I mean, because I know Corey, talking with Corey, that he suggested during the first meeting, he didn't come with the second meeting, that it was important that the county had that liaison person that did all the major repairs and stuff like that.
If on the May Commissioners Workshop, informational workshop, maybe we could have Corey come in for that. And we could donate, as much time towards that as you would. Would that be
Well-
satisfactory to you?
Well, I think it's important that that would be an issue with the building and grounds to be able to help maintain the parks so they don't get in disrepair. So
I agree,
his
100%.
oversight would be very important in being part of this.
Do you want him invited on the commissioners?
Yes, I
Okay.
would like him to be part of this.
Very good, then he'll be invited, May
So
2nd.
the maintenance personnel that we just approved, that is going to be a part of his department. And also, there are, according to the job descriptions of the personnel that we currently have, they are able to be versatile, cross over to the parks if there is any major, so we would keep that within the union.
And vice versa.
And vice, yes.
Yep, during winter
Yes,
time.
because
if
they
we need-
say county buildings and grounds,
Okay.
so they are county buildings and grounds.
Do we have a motion on the floor?
We do.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second additional discussion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? That'll pass. Contract with the Delta Conservation District.
The Finance Committee is presenting a contract with the Conservation District for review. The financial procedure policy states that this item is to be tabled until May 2nd, for the item to be brought back as old business and action to be taken then. So this is just presented for review.
Commissioners, any discussion, or somebody want to table it?
I would make a motion to table it.
We have a motion by Commissioner Barron to table this,
Support.
supported by Commissioner Peterson. Additional discussion?
One thing I'd like to do is have our prosecutor look it over and see which do you think on this also.
Absolutely. She's been a little bit busy lately for us, so
Yeah.
I'll throw one more log on the fire. Yeah, that would be, you want to make a motion there, or can we just?
I will make a motion on that.
I'll support
Okay, we have a
that.
motion on the floor, Commissioner.
Oh,
That was
okay.
my mistake, not yours. Okay, so will you amend your motion to table this and request that our prosecutor look this over?
Yes.
Okay, so it's moved by Commissioner Barron to table this issue, but to have our prosecutor look this issue over. I need a second.
Support.
Okay, so seconded by Commissioner Melner. Additional comment or discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Very good. Very good. Ricky Graham, I'd like you to talk to the commission, please. Mr. Graham, welcome. I would like to introduce Ricky Graham, who has approached me with the idea of having a countywide Boys and Girls Club, and I just wanted to bring this up to the board. We're not taking any action tonight on it, but please, welcome and thank you, and what can you enlighten us about?
I mean, I think it's a great program. I see a lot of the kids in the neighborhood have nothing to do, parents wishing that they can send them somewhere. The Boys and Girls Club has been a major part of my life and helping me get jobs, training for jobs, learning to talk to vets and stuff. I mean, it's an amazing program, and it's a nonprofit program, and the NFL backs it too.
So you've been reaching out to the Packers and Lions?
I've been talking to the Packers, but pretty much if I don't have y'all backing, it's just, and that's where I need y'all guys' help.
Oh, well, what we'll do is we'll put something together formally for the 2nd of May. Going to be a busy one, but I just wanted to give,
I talked to Jim McNeil of the
City manager, yep.
the city manager, and he said that, I'm sorry, guys, I'm nervous.
it's all right.
But
You're
he
fine.
said that Civic Center could be possibly a place that could be used temporarily to get the numbers up, and even the data buses handing out cards to the kids so they can ride, because that's how also has been a big problem for kids in farther part of the district being able to get to the Civic Center.
So we'll start a steering, not a county-wide steering committee, but you want to start a steering committee. People can jump in on this committee and donate their time to help this out?
Yes, sir.
So you've done the Boys and Girls Club experience?
Yes, sir. It's amazing. I mean, right now, the kids in the street have more access to people on bad tracks than they do access to people on positive tracks. And the Boys and Girls Club is amazing for that. Amazing.
Well, welcome, and we will be in touch shortly. Plan on coming back on the 2nd of May.
Yes.
Can
Thank
I
you,
ask-
everybody.
Oh, absolutely. It's not mean to hog. Gentlemen, please. Mr. Nelson, Rick, go ahead. You got commissioners with interest, so that's what we want.
Yes, sir.
Can you elaborate just a tiny bit on what do you mean by backing? What are you looking for as the definition of backing? Just our okay or?
You're okay as far as a facility to set it up in, and maybe even networking with the data people to get things on the ball. I'm
For
just a regular
reparability,
guy. I
that-
just had the idea, and I was like, man, this would be awesome. You know, I grew up in it, and it had turned my life around and many others, and you can hear the stories of football players and business owners who went through those things, and those has saved them in the community. And I think it would be awesome, awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you,
Commissioners,
y'all.
anybody?
Y'all are beautiful up here. Thank you.
All right,
Since coming up here, y'all have been awesome people, and y'all deserve the best, and it starts with our kids, please. I mean, I have lived in many cities, and kids don't have that kind of access to positive people, man. And all y'all in here are fighting for some good stuff here, and that needs to be passed down to our kids. We need them hanging around you guys, you know? I mean, but thank you for your time. God bless you.
Mr. Graham. Thank you. Sir?
You.
All right, very good. We have a closed session. We'll need Lauren Wickman here. We're going into closed session to discuss two items. One is a violation of the Open Meetings Act. The other is our opinion, our attorney's opinion on the Veteran Services. Request to attend closed session by anybody other than legal counsel or this commission is denied in the session. If legal counsel advises us that we need people, we will be reaching out to you shortly. So I need a motion to go into closed session to discuss two back-to-back legal issues, opinions from our legal counsel.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
So I have the motion by Commissioner Peterson. I have supported by Commissioner Barron. This will need a roll call, please.
Melner.
Yes.
View.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
And Moyle.
Yes. Thank you. We'll be out in a second. Who the hell opened my mail? We have a commissioner using the restroom, so we'll wait for a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will now reestablish order in the commission meeting, please. I need the meeting to come back to order. Thank you for sticking around. I need a motion to come out of closed session.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Barron, supported by Commissioner Melner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We made no decisions. We cast no votes in these closed sessions. We discussed two separate matters with our corporate attorney, and now we are ready to move on with the rest of the business of the board.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to request that the administration would get a list of the indigent sailors and soldiers from all of our local municipalities so we can further work on the
PA 214.
PA 214.
Support.
So I have a motion by Commissioner Barron, supported by Commissioner View, to request that administration reach out to municipalities to start getting a list of indigent sailors and soldiers in regards to the coming up activity for Public Act 214. Can I have a roll call on that, please?
Sure. Melner.
Yes.
View.
Yes.
Barron.
Yes.
Peterson.
Yes.
And Moyle.
Yes. All right, thank you very much. Now we are on to a general public comment. I did check into additional time. I cannot grant anybody more than 3 minutes. I apologize for that. If you want to talk about ways to get through that, I can give you some suggestions, but you'll be unfortunately cut off after 3 minutes. General public comment, please. Sir, welcome.
Good evening, Jake Nyquist, Escanaba Township. I want to speak on this altering of the boundaries of Escanaba Township and Cornell Township. I'm probably not going to make the May 16th meeting, so I'm going to have to read this now because I'm going to be out of town for work. I fully support this application to alter the boundaries of Escanaba Township and Cornell Township. This is not the first time that these boundaries have moved. It's happened multiple times before. Cameron School and the Gladstone Industrial Park used to be Escanaba Township. Fernwood Cemetery used to be Escanaba Township. All the property west of Tipperary, where the Oak Bluff gated community is, Oak Bluff Golf Course, the Caddyshack Restaurant, that used to be Escanaba Township, and it was changed years ago, and it really hasn't been for better or for worse. It's just changed, and life has gone on. There hasn't been any really negative effect by it. I think this boundary change is better because of the possibility of this supposed solar project that may happen. This project is good because it's going to have a lot of construction jobs, workers getting putting money into their pensions. It's going to create a lot of taxes to municipalities and also royalties to landowners. I'm not the biggest fan of green energy or this non-fossil fuel energy. I'm a union Boilermaker, so I support power plants, but this is the direction that the whole country is going in, so I have to play with the cards I'm dealt with. Some oppose this because of property values possibly going down, pollution, aesthetics, losing farmland. I disagree with some of them arguments. My wife and I are raising our 8 children in this area, and we're not all worried about these concerns. The benefits of this far outweigh the negatives. As far as property values, they may go up with this change. If some fields are filled with solar panels, it means there may be less likely to be split up and subdivided, which can be appealing to some people. Pollution, I don't believe is a threat. The lack of farmland, I've traveled to 5 continents and over a dozen countries, and there is plenty of open space. So if someone wants to become a farmer and work 7 days a week and work 20 hours a day and make about $40,000 a year, go ahead and knock yourself out, but there's plenty of farmland if someone wants to go into that. Fully support, this will support our constitutional rights, the 4th and 9th Amendment, and I ask that all 5 board members vote for this change. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nyquist. General public comment, please. You have 3 minutes to address the board. Please state who you are and, if you would, where you're from, and thank you.
Barbie Claremont, Escanaba Township. I have some questions about the annex. For one, you would be tearing a township completely in half. As a body that sits here, would be making the choices, I guess, about this. I don't know where the original signature pages are, because that would be nice to know if these are all valid signatures. Let's see, I'd like to know what the reason is besides solar. I mean, we've known that a particular person on the board, Mr. Barron, is very interested in covering his land with glass fields, I guess it would be. I beg to differ about the fact that solar is great. I'm thinking that I'm going back to looking at all the other countries that have done it, and now they're pulling back on it all. And we're just starting, and our country is making huge mistake following stuff that failed in the first place. We don't get to hear about all those things because they keep all that stuff from us. All the media, I'm saying. Drawing the annex lines, that's funny. You know, I thought annex lines were supposed to straighten out things. This is done around everything. Isn't it funny? It's about as crooked as the person that came up with it.
Ma'am, it's out of line. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry that it is out of line, but so is this. I live there. I have grown up there, and it is extremely out of line to take forcefully half of a township and throw them into another township that don't even want us. Cornell doesn't want us. I mean, I don't understand where somebody would think that they would get to take and tear an entire township apart and have the remaining township pay for the other half that's not there. Because the things that they do have, they're gonna have to keep them up. The fire department, the cemetery, I mean, these things need to be groomed at the town hall. All these things have to be taken care of still. So half of the township gets to pay for it, and the other half gets to go to Cornell. We get the ballpark, I guess, I mean, that's great. It is really unbelievable the lengths that people will go to for a mighty dollar. And maybe, what God said about the camel going through the needle of the eye of the needle? Yeah, right there.
Thank you, ma'am. Welcome, and thank you. Please identify yourself.
Hi, Christine Peppin, City of Escanaba.
Thank you, Kristen.
Couple of comments on tonight's meetings. You mentioned the parks manager was going to be paid $40,000 a year. Does that include benefits? Because the benefit package certainly is going to be considerably more. Just curious how much money would go into that. And I noticed, the monies that are being handed out here and there, I hope and pray that this board remembers that generosity when you're negotiating with the rank and file for their union contracts, because I can promise you, they're not getting the same treatment. I also question why the district court clerk position will be part-time, no benefits, and a floater. We got rid of floaters some years ago because they didn't work then. I was one. I remember, I negotiated with the board, and I explained to them, you want me to be proficient in several jobs, yet you want to pay me less than the regular employee here. There's nothing fair about it. It doesn't work. You're asking somebody to do more than their share. You're compensating people who are taking on extra duties now, but you want a floater, part-time floater, to come in and do it for probably minimum wage and know all these jobs. I think they should be compensated for whatever job they're doing. And I think that if you hire a full-time district court clerk with benefits, you will have an employee who will stay, who will do the job, and who will keep the district court from falling so far behind and racking up all that comp time. And I think I'm starting to see, I've asked several times why this board is so hell-bent on hiring a private attorney to represent the county. I don't remember having a ton of lawsuits in my tenure with the county. And I was very active at the board meetings and throughout the county. I don't remember that, but suddenly we're getting hit with all these lawsuits. You go into closed session, there's a couple more you got to discuss, more legal opinions. What's going on? If things are being done properly, rules are being followed, we shouldn't be having these lawsuits. And I don't believe they're all frivolous lawsuits. I believe they're concerned citizens who are justified in what they're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
My name is Ed Fleury, and I'm a trustee township for Cornell. I'm a little bit angry tonight. I take real exception with the gentleman who was up here talking about the solar. For years, Cornell Township, Escanaba Township have existed side by side, complementing. And now, all of a sudden, we have a problem. Why do we have that problem? That's why we have the problem, sitting behind the desk there. They're pushing this annexation. Cornell Township does not want it. Escanaba Township, they don't want it either because it's going to eventually destroy their township. So whatever we need to do, I think that the citizens here, we need to contact the state's attorney and have an investigation of what's going on with this board. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir. Please state your name. Sorry, Teresa, I didn't see that.
Teresa Ross. I'm not talking about annexation, but I did get a phone call from a friend in Florida who's a snowbird saying, what the hell is your name on that petition for? I can guarantee you I did not sign that petition. So On April 4th, you voted to eliminate Zoom access to those of us who have difficulty attending personally. You claim that we could still make public comments by calling Jack Smith, the ADA coordinator. I called Mr. Smith's office and was told this was erroneous. He makes sure the room is set up to accommodate disabilities, nothing more. I contacted the commissioners and surprisingly received 2 responses. One from Mr. View, who always responds, and one from Mr. Moyle, who had never responded to past communications. I was actually pleased with Mr. Moyle's response, which I will read. This is from Mr. Moyle. Given the fact that you are ambulatory impaired and require a wheelchair, I will bring this issue forth again on your behalf. I was following the advice of our IT director. However, I have a substantial passion for people with disabilities and the struggles that they face daily. And your situation does not fall on a blind eye or deaf ear. I will talk to our interim administrator on your behalf. And I am sorry for any inconvenience this may have caused you so far. Thank you, David Moyle. Needless to say, I was hopeful, but 2 meetings later, it is still not on any agenda. Last week, there were 32 people watching YouTube live during the meeting. That's 32 people who were denied an opportunity to exercise free speech if they so desired. I have checked with other county commissions, and Marquette, Dickinson, Menominee, Chippewa, and Schoolcraft counties all provide Zoom access to their meetings. You claim that Zoom was an unnecessary expense because the IT director had to attend meetings. You failed to acknowledge this task was performed by the previous administrator. So although Ashley is receiving the full salary of the previous administrator, she apparently has less duties. But that's another subject this commission wants to avoid. I am respectfully asking this board to reinstate Zoom access to those constituents who cannot attend, whether it's a disability or for other reasons such as distance, time, childcare, transportation, etc. Thank you.
Thank you. General public comment. You have 3 minutes.
Kelly Vangenhoven, City of Escanaba. I would like to comment regarding the compensation for Andrea Newmelin, our airport manager. I regularly attend airport board meetings, which occur monthly at the Delta County Airport. Ms. Newmelin has been without an assistant since February 23rd. On March 13th, the airport board unanimously voted in favor of a resolution for compensation for Ms. Newmelin and requested it to be forwarded to the Board of Commissioners. On the March 21st County Commissioners meeting, it was stated Ms. Newmelin's potential compensation needed to be sent first to the Finance Committee. At Finance Committee, March 24th, was made and it was sent to the Committee of the Whole. However, it was not on the Committee of the Whole agenda as it was intended to be specific to one agenda item. However, there was a second item added at that meeting itself regarding the parks. At the April 4th County Commissioners meeting, the Commission again put this item back to Finance Committee. On April 5th, Commissioner Moyle stated on Craig Warple that there was a $5,000 raise being discussed. However, this had never been mentioned at Airport, Finance, nor with this board as a whole at any Commissioners meeting. At the Finance Committee meeting last week, as well as at the last monthly airport board meeting, Andrea had requested a stipend to an amount the board deemed fit and her vacation time reinstated as she was required to take her work phone with her on vacation. This was pushed to the side. During this meeting, she was questioned by Commissioner Barron regarding the assistant hiring process thus far. Ms. Newmelin stated she had 2 very qualified candidates who both withdrew their resumes and applications due to the concerns regarding this board and politics. She offered to send Commissioner Barron emails and text screenshots of these withdrawals. Now tonight, her stipend was once again tabled. Chairman Moyle, it would have been completely acceptable and easy for you to simply recuse yourself from this issue if you felt that it was not right for you to vote, or abstain from voting if you were concerned about potential litigation. Now it's being pushed off again. I'm completely disappointed in this board regarding this issue for our airport manager. Thank you.
Thank you. General public comment, please. General public comment. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Anastasia Van Akenvoort. My ex-husband, David Moyle, has served the county for many years, and again this term, the public has voted Commissioner Moyle in. They feel that he's the best choice for the job. Elections are the public's way of deciding that what they want. It's expected that some will disagree with the election results. Despite this, Commissioner Moyle has always been open to listening to the people's concerns, regardless of how they voted or the views they hold. However, we have some residents and political opponents in Delta County speaking out in very disturbing and disrespectful ways. I will read you some of the threats and messages I have received recently. You ugly, expletive, expletive, expletive. Look for attention somewhere else and take that piece of expletive up-looking kid with you when you kill yourself. We don't need pathetic expletive like you around. Your fat expletive coward of a husband can expletive another expletive for a couple more votes. That useless expletive, trailer trash expletive, your whole garbage expletive family should be killed. Expletive. Another time I got, kill yourself.
You need to keep it quiet in the audience.
You dumb, ugly C-word. Another message I received was, don't you have a child to go rape? That's what you Republicans love doing. Another one just recently, in terms speaking about Dave, what a piece of expletive. Dude should have been bullied in high school. Fascists like him should be hung. Moyle and his little goons are fascist scum. Happen to like common decency. You're not just threatening Dave, you're threatening a whole family. Last night, I was sent multiple messages saying, we support the comments that were made against Dave in the last meeting. We all know where you live. I spent the night checking my window. It was terrifying. It's not right, and it needs to stop. And it will stop, one way or another. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next up, please, general public comment. You have 3 minutes to address the board any way you'd like about any situation. Thank you. Identify yourself and appreciate it.
I was hoping to be the last one to speak, so if there's anybody else who wants to talk about the annex or anything, you can have my spot. and then
No,
I'll-
ma'am, so we can't let you come up again. So.
All righty, well, here you go.
Sorry.
Thanks for the opportunity to address this board. My name is Ivy Netzel, and I'm the co-chair of the Historic Preservation Committee for the Anagominque chapter of the National Society Daughters of the American Revolution.
Welcome.
Thank you. Commonly known as the DAR. The DAR, founded in 1890 and headquartered in Washington, D.C., is a nonprofit, non-political volunteer women's service organization dedicated to promoting patriotism, preserving American history, and securing America's future through better education for children. Any woman 18 years or older who can prove lineal descent from a patriot of the American Revolution is eligible for membership. The Anagominque chapter is headquartered in Marquette and serves the western side of the Upper Peninsula, including Alger, Baraga, Delta, Dickinson, Gogebic, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, Houghton, Iron, Keweenaw, Marquette, Menominee, Ontonagon, and Schoolcraft counties. The reason for my visit today is to request permission or to ask to be on next month's agenda, perhaps, from the Delta County Commission to renovate a DAR monument that was placed in Pioneer Trail Park by the DAR in 1931. The monument is a 7-foot granite boulder with a bronze plaque, and I have pictures if anyone's interested after the meeting. The renovation would include the following activities: cleaning the granite using DAR methods for restoring old tombstones, replacing the bronze plaque, which has sustained extensive damage, with a new plaque to include, rewording the plaque to bring it up to current DAR standards, submitting the monument to the NSDAR Historian General's Office to approve as an official historical marker, and requesting that the NSDAR Historic Preservation Committee place this official historical marker on the DAR's Historic Sites and Properties database.
None of these activities would transfer ownership or location of the historic monument to the NSDAR. Delta County would remain the owner of the monument. And I'm ready to answer any questions now or at any future time.
We will get you on the agenda on the 2nd.
Thank you
We
very
can't interact
much.
now, but plan on it.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. General public comment, please. You have 3 minutes to address the board. General public comment. Thank you and welcome.
Hi, Steve Benoit, Wells Township. I also was reached out to this week about the ADA, and people did reach out to see if they could get help with that, and they were told no. I also believe that we need to put the Zoom back into place because we need to allow everybody. My friend is a shut-in and is unable to get here, so I think everybody has to have that opportunity. I would also like to talk about the annex. I believe that Commissioner Barron should recuse himself from any discussions, in any future discussions concerning that situation. And he should not vote on anything that may come forth on that. Mr. Barron obviously would financially be in a positive if that happened, and in that case, he should not be offered any opportunity to talk about it or vote on it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. General public comment, please. General public comment. Good evening and welcome.
Thank you. Ann Fix, Escanaba. Commissioners, I'm not sure any of you are aware that April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, a time each year dedicated to raising awareness and preventing cycles of abuse. The Children Trust Michigan is recognizing the importance of preventing child abuse and neglect with a Child Abuse Prevention Awareness Day rally in Lansing. That rally took place today, April 18th, at 11 a.m. on the lawn of the Capitol in Lansing. I know Commissioner Peterson has, in the past, attended rallies on the lawn of the state capitol before, not for this issue, but for the Second Amendment. I take it none of you made it to the rally in Lansing for this event today. A few meetings ago, Commissioner Barron talked about one of his concerns for Delta County. He mentioned the drug court, and 30 families in Delta County had their parental rights taken away because of drugs. He then stated 29 families because of marijuana. My question to Mr. Barron, do you have the numbers to show how many adoptive or biological children were taken away for being abused from their parents in Delta County? Children that didn't do their homework, children that didn't do their chores, children that came home late, children not making their beds, children that used the truck but didn't put gas in it, not because their parents abusing alcohol, drugs, or going through Delta County's drug court, but because they have been raised in an environmental household of abuse, passed on from one generation to another. This is sad. Abuse is sad. Mr. Barron, do you know how many households in Delta County there are that children are abused that go unreported or reported to law enforcement, but nothing is done? Generations of angry abusers. I agree with Mr. Barron. This is a county issue that needs to be addressed, an important issue. But let's look at all the abuse, not pick and choose. Let's look at our mental health issues in Delta County. This month, April, is Child Abuse Prevention Month and preventing cycles of abuse. Commissioners, you need to prioritize issues of concerns for Delta County. Commissioner Moyle, stop wasting our taxpayers' dollars and time introducing another Second Amendment county sanctuary resolution. It's been done. Move on.
Thank you. General public comment, please. General public comment.
Hi, my name's Gary Gustafson. So, Mr. Barrett, two meetings ago, I believe, possibly three, you said that 29 families in Delta County lost their children due to marijuana psychosis. I tried to, that is laughable, by the way, because that's absolutely untrue. And I tried to confirm that information, and you told me that Judge Perry Lund is the one that told you that. So I contacted the courthouse, and they told me that that information is not public information. I cannot FOIA that, and they're not going to tell me that. So did you have a personal conversation with the judge about this, and where did you get that information? And was it ethical? Was it a legal conversation?
Thank you, Gary. General public comment. General public comment to the board, please. You have 3 minutes to address the board on whatever issue you find. General public comment, please. Dave, good to see you.
Hey, always nice to see you. Dave Adamini, Wells Township. Just like to very briefly touch on the annexation. I've spent a lot of time in government, worked for the state, federal government. I know a lot about how government works. I can't imagine in a million years that anyone who stood to benefit, regardless of the outcome of this, would be involved or have any decision-making. It should go without saying that if someone stands to benefit, they should recuse themselves. We shouldn't be talking about this. This shouldn't happen. We shouldn't even be talking about this. So enough of that. We'll get to the bottom of everything. Last thing I have to say, whether it be Commissioner Moyle and his family or anybody sitting here or sitting at home, no one should be harassed, intimidated. Again, that's why I'm here. If anybody has an issue, see me after the meeting. We will put an end to that. If anybody has anything, whether they're texts, that kind of stuff, send them to me. We'll figure it out. We'll do what's within the law. We'll keep everybody safe regardless of who you are. Hey, everybody, have a good night.
Thank you, Dave. General public comment. General public comment, please. General public comment, one more call. Final call for general public comment. Okay, you got me. Go ahead, sir.
I was waiting for anybody else to come up. Brady Irving, my house is technically in Wells, but I'd like to talk a little bit about the man in the leather jacket. I'm sorry, I'm terrible at names. Yeah, you. Having grown up in Escanaba, I can attest that there is nothing for a child to do here. We have a park, but if you're there too late, you get kicked out, and it's a pretty run-down park, let's be fair. Up in Gladstone, they've got a rinky-dink little skate park that, again, you get kicked out of. As a kid growing and a teenager growing up in Delta County, there's so little to do, and for fear of sounding older than I am, all that kids can do here is just stay inside locked up and play in a video game. And so I think definitely going into what he's talking about, this program for boys and girls is a phenomenal idea, especially the part with the data bus, because it's one thing to just build places where kids can go. It's another thing to actually get them there. That's one of the big problems with the skate park out in Gladstone. If you're in Escanaba or anywhere else, you can't get to that skate park if you're a kid who's into skateboarding. You can't drive. So, yeah, that's it. It's a great idea, and I hope you all look further into it and do it.
Anybody else for general public comment? General public comment going once, going twice. It is closed. All right, commissioners' concerns. Commissioner Peterson.
I have nothing.
Commissioner View. Go ahead, sir.
I'll only say a few of them. Because I'll just let the public know, get a hold of me with any of your concerns, and I'll see how I can address them. Basically, I know nothing about the split of Escanaba Township. I requested information on it. I guess our county doesn't have any information on why it's the commission that makes the decision, so that kind of scares me. I have no reason to make a decision one way or another right now, so I'm looking for some guidance that way. I don't know who I'm gonna get it from. As far as the solar, there seems to be a lot of this issue on wanting industrial solar. I would like to ask the chair if I could reach out to Michigan State Extension.
You don't need my permission for that.
Well, it seems like I need permission to do things, and I just want to follow procedure.
Reach out.
No, but let me explain what I want to do to see if it's, I don't want any criticism before I do it or after I do it. I've been involved with a MAC environmental meetings the last 2 months, and I think John Melner was in on one this month already, and it had pros and cons of solar. They have developed so much in the last 2 years that this professor or expert from the Michigan State University Extension downstate gave us such a good presentation on it that it's given me information that I'm not getting from the public here. It's so entailed that I would like to see if he could give a Zoom presentation to all of us. It lasts about how long, John? About 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Pardon? Well, I support Zoom. That's one of my, well, that was gonna be one of my comments later on down here. But there's two gentlemen that are experts in the field, and they give the pros and cons. And I think it'll open up a lot of people's eyes, one way or the other, on the new development of why the whole country is pushing for solar and why Michigan is so important and how valuable the farmland can still be used and have solar. I'm not supporting one thing one way or the other, but I need to get all the bases of how we're going to make this decision to move forward, and I think this guy can help the whole public understand a little better. So you think that would be something we could entertain here or not?
We can move it forward. I mean, we don't broadcast currently the county meetings by Zoom, but we could do a special,
Well, I was going to ask if he could come here.
yeah, you can do it. We can set up if you want some kind of.
Do we have any funds for him?
Don't ask me that now. I mean, we can look into
Okay,
that, but
well,
I can't answer you that, Steve.
Well, I'll find out what it would take to get him here.
Okay, that's fine.
Or if he can do something with Zoom. Maybe we can get a couple big TV screens. Is that what's in them cabinets back there? All right, the other thing is, like I said, I do support Zoom. I voted for Zoom. I've received multiple comments that they want it back, so if it came back to the board, I would support it again. Mrs. Williams, who would be available to give a copy of that statement and the resources from the county park to the commission for us to look at or not? Okay, thank you. The parks, the lady, I think it was Miss Peppin, there is benefits to that package, and if I'm not mistaken, it's about 80 cents on the dollar. Is that right, Ashley? So it is a good package to try to keep somebody into the park position. I'm going through this. Oh, about the prayer at the beginning of the meeting. I did send an email to Emily on what that one gentleman talked about, that U.S. Supreme Court ruling. It's a non-denominational prayer, and it's legal to do, and Emily was going to check with our supposed attorney, or, no, Emily. Emily was going to check with it, and I don't think she had an opportunity to follow through on it. And I don't know if you have access to that email that I sent, or if I have to look it up and resend it, because.
She did, and it was distributed to all the commissioners.
Is it a legal thing to continue doing?
This really back and forth is not, we are out of line right now.
Oh, we're out of line.
But I remember seeing it being sent.
Okay, the other thing is, can I ask how many commissioners going to that MAC conference? To that MAC conference this weekend? I'm going.
I'm going.
Anybody else?
I'm going.
So, pardon?
Three.
So there's three commissioners. I was wondering if anyone had any questions or anything that we needed to research with a whole vast majority of all the commissioners getting together down in Lansing next week. If you could at least give me your questions or ideas that you want me to ask and look into. And I don't know if we can't get together to talk about the breakout sessions, but I would like to make sure that we cover different breakout sessions so I don't go in a meeting and see two other commissioners there. And I don't really know how to pursue that outside of maybe just talking to one commissioner and hope for the best that the other one doesn't show up either. But I wanted to hit all the sessions we can, so when we come back, we'd have a report on something that would be pretty useful for what they're paying for us to go down there. And the other thing is about the internet and the threats. I don't use internet much for communicating, but I do get a lot of communication from the constituents on the commission or commissioners using the internet to, as far as I'm concerned, it looks like we need a policy for us public officials. Do we have a policy? I guess I can't answer that. But if we don't have a policy, I'd like to see us work on a policy for public officials that would eliminate, like, us from cyberbullying certain people, the people in the community or other commissioners, where we don't use we're held to a higher standard, so I'd like to have that include, like abusive language, intimidation factors. Some of these emails I get, I can't believe I'm getting. And they're from officials in the community. There's humiliation, there's threats, and there's, the one that I dislike the most is they're trying to define who I am by who they want me to be, and I do not like that. So I don't know the procedure to do something about that, but I hope it's on the record and we can start looking into that. Once again, thank you and have a good night.
Yes, I was also on that environmental MAC committee, and the guy's name is Charles Gould. He is the extension bioenergy educator, and he did send us the slides.
Yeah, I printed it out.
So, and at the same time when we were at this, that's what's nice about having the iPad and a laptop together, because I videoed the whole thing. So as soon as I can, maybe me and Steve can get together and get something set up if I have all of the information there. I also am a supporter of Zoom, and that's about all I got.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A lot of things I could cover here, but I think I'm going to sum it up. I've always felt that brevity is the soul of wit and the cornerstone of intelligence, but there's an old phrase I came across years ago of a World War II bomber pilot, and he said that you knew you were over the target when you took flak. Thank you.
Very good. Nancy? Ashley?
Yes, I would like to make a comment on the ADA, that there was a lot of public questioning. You are able to formally submit a written public comment that can be read here during public comment.
Okay.
Sorry that you weren't informed of that. I apologize.
Very good. I've got a bit to go over. I'll start with Mr. Views first. We do have a policy. It's called the ballot box. If you don't like what a particular public official's doing, you don't vote for them. in terms of somebody saying they're offended, if you're offended, it doesn't mean you're right. And if you claim to be a victim, you might be, or you might be a bully who's trying to look like a victim. So I think, thank you, I appreciate your input, but I'm talking, and people were quiet when you spoke, so I truly appreciate your consideration anyway. The public isn't stupid. They will make their decisions, as they already have. Doing the martial arts for 40 years, I know sometimes I shouldn't respond to things that I do, but you can call me fat all you want. I am fat. I don't care about that. But just, no one's trying to define you, Steve. I don't see it. In any email that I've sent you that you find offensive, I'm accountable, sincerely. In reference to other things, as long as I understand there's going to be a recall effort, but as long as I'm chairman, this commission will pray. You can sit for the pledge, you can kneel for the pledge. I don't have anything to say about that. I don't have to like it. You don't need me to like it. But if I want to pray, you don't have to pray. But we're not going to stop praying. I'm prepared to fight I will fight on that hill. And I think we've got better things to argue about, honestly. All right? I'm not arguing. I'm trying to give you my point, if you'd let me, and quit being rude. Lawsuits for the county, action is faster than reaction, and that's why we are looking to have our own municipal attorney, and it might end up being Lauren Wickman. She's been on spot working for the county a lot, and congratulations and thank you for the service you've rendered, Counselor, because it's been valuable. In terms of annexation, I got the hell beaten out of me in the paper today, and I'm still gathering information about annexation. If you think I'm simply going to vote for Mr. Barron because he's my buddy, you're not thinking clearly and you don't know me. Mr. Benoit, I would agree with you, so hell just froze over, all right? I think Bob Barron needs to recuse himself from that argument or that discussion. That doesn't... Barron, I think you should have given him the benefit of the doubt that he probably would have done that as opposed to labeling him. I know him better than you do. Zoom access, Teresa Ross, I sincerely apologize. I'm beginning the things as I have the time. As you can tell, I'm a little bit inundated with things. I plan on revisiting this as a board, and I am sincerely sorry, especially you being ambulatory impaired. We can be on the opposite sides of the aisle politically till hell freezes over, but I have passion and empathy for what you're doing. And if I can, now after the meeting, please, I'm going to catch heck if I let you. But I appreciate your candor, and thank you. As far as Ashley not doing her job or doing the duties, I think if you break it down into what she's doing a lot more than people realize. I will not recuse myself from the airport issue. That would be an admission of doing something. I have stated that I support giving Andrea more money. I don't know what else I need to do. My fiduciary obligation is to shield the county from any potential injury. And with an investigation going on, I can't involve myself with it. But I've made the public statement, I will support it. So I can't make it any more clear than that. And since it's retroactive, Andrea's not going to lose any money there. Ivy Nessel, God bless you for doing God's work and helping the Daughters of the Revolution. This will come at no cost to the county and will be listed on a national register for monuments, could help tourism here. That's a positive thing. I salute Ann Fix for bringing the National Child Abuse Prevention Month forward. I did not know that. I was working today. I've never gone to Lansing for the Second Amendment March either, but I can guarantee you we will revisit the Second Amendment sanctuary issue and we will reaffirm it if I have anything to say about it. And since it's in line with the Constitution, nobody should be threatened by that, unless, of course, your aim is to damage the Second Amendment. Well, sorry. You need to be quiet, please. People were quiet for you. That's just a simple thing that you should have learned in elementary school. Brady Irving, I like what you said about the Boys and Girls Club, and I'm sure that Mr. Graham would appreciate the input from any young people. And so we are going to form a steering committee. You're invited to get on it. That being said, thank you for coming, speaking your piece. We have to take a look at the next, we don't have any 30-day appointments, do we? Okay. Board of Commissioner meeting on 5/2/23 at 5:15 in the Service Center. That's the Commissioner's Informational Workshop. Regular Board of Commissioner meeting at 5:16, 23 at 5:15. There's the regular Board of Commissioner meeting at 6:23. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Support. We have adjournment and support. Thank you. We ended up earlier. Sir, God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. Oh, we're in. Sir? I did. It's, I talked to council about that. He said immediately I talked to him the next day because they take so many seriously. I'm not admin on the page, but if you want, I'll talk to admin and see if I can get you added. All right, I'll talk to her tonight.